let's say you live with roommates and you really want your own space. Listen, if I had to pick between a bachelor and a roommate situation, I'd pick a bachelor any single day. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew before I leased my studio apartment. I thought it'd be like a fun video to do, just talking about like the pros and cons of living in a studio apartment. I feel like studio apartments are a great option if you are a first-time renter, or you know, you're young, you just want your own space and you don't want to spend as much money as you would for like a one bed or whatever. Let's just start with the pros, you know, let's start with the good stuff, the good news. The one thing that I think everyone can agree on with studio apartments is that, hang on, my hands are so dry. Love this stuff. I think like the most obvious and like biggest pro to getting a studio apartment is that it's cheaper. Like let's say the difference between a studio and a one bed is like $300. For a lot of people, that $300 can like make or break them. So like when it comes to like their expenses. So I feel like it's definitely an important option to consider. So first and foremost, the cost. You're saving money. And even if you had money for a one bed or two bed even, I mean, and you can just deal with a studio, you're saving money. I guess this one is a little more like on the subjective side, but I feel like it's kind of fun to like work with the studio space because it's less space. When it comes to like furniture and like configurations and layouts and stuff, I do feel like it's a lot more fun to like play around and like see how I can make the space work for me. I feel like I should get some gloss. It's not gloss, it's actually like a lip balm. By the way, if you like lip glosses, please check out that video. I did a whole big video on all my lip glosses. I feel like it could be fun to like figure out the best configuration for, you know, your space. Okay, next, if you are a part of a competitive housing market and you find it hard to get in, a studio apartment can be a really good thing to consider if it's difficult for you to get a one bedroom or one bedroom plus den or whatever. So for instance, like I realized that the competition for like one bedrooms and one bedrooms plus dens are going to be a lot higher because not only are like single people looking for it, couples are looking for it. It's pretty much going to be a single person situation for a bachelor, you know, bachelor. And also I'd say if you really like a building or an area in a city, it can be a way for you to get in, you know, like so you just kind of deal with it for like a year or however long your lease term is. That can be really good for you, right? Because you can kind of also get like an idea of the neighborhood and the area that you're living, the building. Next, I wouldn't say you need as much furniture as you would for like a one bedroom. I feel like for one bedrooms, like you would probably want like a living area. You'd probably want to have like your TV and you'd want like a couch, you know, but I feel like for a studio, like you don't really have space for it, so you don't really need as much furniture. If I wanted to leave and I wanted to like put everything in storage, my storage unit would not be that big because like I don't think I have like that many things. Whereas like if it was like a one bedroom or one bed plus den situation, I definitely have more furniture, like obviously. I would also say that it's a really good start for beginners. Like if you are renting your first place, it's a good option. It definitely also makes you understand, or let's say you live with roommates and you really want your own space. Listen, if I had to pick between a bachelor and a roommate situation, I'd pick a bachelor any single day. So that's also a very important pro. So that's my list of pros. Unfortunately, it's not very long. I definitely feel like there are more cons to living in a bachelor or studio apartment. And especially like when I say all this stuff, I just want to say like I definitely mean like a smaller, you know, apartment, like a smaller studio. Maybe if it's big enough, like these things are more relevant, but let me continue. Okay, so the first con that I have here is literally small with an exclamation point. Yeah, it's small. Like where I live, like a lot of studio layouts, especially modern studio layouts, are really bad. They have this like really ugly, like rectangular kind of just, you walk in, your kitchen is there, a window is there, and that's it. You know, well, basically it's just so poorly thought out, you know, like poorly planned. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of one bedrooms even. And I think that's why at that point I was like, if one bedrooms look this bad, why would I be adamant on like getting a one bed if I can also get a studio? Save some money, right? Like, so that's where I was at. I found older buildings to have better layouts. My house being small doesn't actually bother me as much as I think it would. It's not that big a deal, but I could see it being a problem for a lot of people. So something to consider. Appliances. Appliances make noise, right? Your fridge makes noise. Your fridge, your freezer, they make noise to run. You know, when you're trying to sleep at night, you're gonna hear your fridge. If you have a dishwasher, it's gonna make noise. It's gonna be loud as hell. You know, washer dryer. My washer is not very loud, but like the dryer can be loud. So like honestly, it can be very noisy. If you're going to be like doing dishes, if you do laundry, you gotta do it when you're like, you know, in the day when you're busy, or like, you know, I'll start my loads and stuff when I step out, which kind of helps because I don't have to hear it. It will definitely be noisy, and like, I don't know, like it was really hard for me to get used to the fridge making noise when I was like trying to sleep. But now I'm completely used to it, but you'll have to get used to it, okay? I'm a homebody, so this doesn't affect me really much. But if you are not a homebody, or if you work from home, like full time, it's gonna be tough. One thing that I like about being in a house is having the ability to kind of go from one room to another. So, okay, so I'm in my bedroom, and then I'm like in the living room, and then I'm in the kitchen, and I'm in the basement. Like, you know what I mean? With a studio situation, you're essentially always in the same room, except for the bathroom. It's really on you to make as much separation of your area as possible. This is like my bedroom area here, and I definitely made it like a bedroom area. I really thought about ways to like make it feel like a different area from my space, as well as my little living room situation where I have like my little chair and my little TV, and I have like a Kallax shelf that kind of separates the area really well. Here's the kitchen, here's the bedroom, here's the living room, here's like the, you know, where I study and do work. Here's my vanity dresser setup. Basically, you have to think in that regard, and you have to like be very, you know, creative with how you're gonna separate your space and utilize your space. And I guess that, like I said, that's to me is fun, but it could be really annoying and frustrating sometimes. So I would definitely say that's also a con. If you don't do this, then you're gonna feel very overwhelmed in your space, and it's just gonna feel like you're just gonna wanna like get out of it. It did take me some time to adjust, but like I'm really used to it now. Just putting it out there. So if you're like not a homebody, or if you know, work from home full time, definitely try to get out, like go for walks. Don't just stay in your studio apartment. Okay, I will also say this is not the best type of space for entertaining. It's not the most private. Like if you just had someone come in your space and you just want them to like, you know, be in your living room, well, they have to see your bedroom, right? They have to see where you sleep. They have to see, you know, basically everything when it comes to hiding things, keeping things out of sight. You have to be very mindful with things that you're trying to hide, because it's likely going to be on display. Like there's not a lot of room in studio apartments, and most studio apartments don't have like any storage situations. Like I have a cabinet, which helps. Some might have a Murphy bed, which might be good because you can like hide your bed. Everything is on display basically, unless you have a closet where you can stuff everything in, but then your closet's also going to be overwhelmed. Like I don't know why this is not talked about, but like you have less walls to decorate with. If you're in a one bedroom, you have 4 walls in your bedroom. Well, maybe one wall has a window, and so you have 3 walls, okay, to really kind of work with, decorate, put things up against. And then when you come out into your main space, you probably have at least like 2 kind of like usable walls. When you're in a bachelor, like you don't have as many free walls to kind of put things up against, and you have to be a little more, again, creative about your solution. Because like, for example, when I first moved here, my big mirror, I had no idea where to put that mirror, because if you're in a bedroom, it's simple. And I also kind of like miss seeing just freed up walls. Like I just put this macrame up maybe like 2-3 months ago, and I love it. But like before this is like the only like really free wall that I have, just like completely, you know, bare, like the most like kind of wall real estate that I have in this place. So weird thing to think about, but like it's definitely something that I've noticed. I've noticed that a lot of studios don't have balconies, at least like where I live. Students don't really have like the balcony. I would say balconies are really, really important. I think it's nice to just be able to step out on the balcony and sit, even just like look out, get some fresh air. Balcony is like actually another space, you know, living space, right? So I would say like that's one thing that I don't love about bachelors. This might not be the case for every bachelor. Some will have like, you know, balconies, but I've just noticed that. Just be another place for you to go, right? Aside from your bathroom, basically. Like this is probably a devil's advocate to like the not needing as many pieces of furniture is like literally you might have to downsize your furniture or like change your furniture. So for example, if you have a desk that's nice and big, you might not be able to fit it in your space. You have to go buy a new smaller desk, you know, or your bed. This is actually a double bed that I'm on, which works perfectly for this space. But I was thinking if I had like a queen, it would not work well here. Not at all. And I remember like when I was moving into the space, I measured everything first before even considering taking the place. And I was able to say, okay, like I think my bed would actually fit here. It'd be fine. I was shocked it would fit, but it fit. And so it's important to like measure everything so that you can know if it will actually work well for you. But honestly, like I realized that having to like kind of get furniture pieces that work for the space. When you consider a bigger space, you realize the stuff that you could take with you that makes sense and stuff that don't. Like my bed obviously makes sense. My desk makes sense. My little TV that I got with like a little stand and wheels, that doesn't really make sense because like honestly, I think I would get like a proper TV with the proper, you know, the little TV stand and all that. So I just have this like small TV just that really works for the space, but not for like a new space. Or like, you know, because your space is small, you might have to buy like customized almost like furniture or furniture that's like just kind of unusual that fits in your space. Like for me, my kitchen drawers were really small. And so I had to buy like a custom like organizer things. I had to get like one that like adjusts because the normal standard one did not fit. So like it's just like little things like that. Now my last con is that sometimes honestly it's not even worth the saving. So if you're doing this to save money, like you're trying to be cheap, you're trying to like save a buck, save a dime, and it's like honestly not a big deal. Eat the cost. Some people's situations, they just can't even spend a little extra money, and like I get it. But like honestly, if it's just like not a big deal for you to just spend a little bit more money, just spend a little bit more money. At the end of the day, I would not recommend a studio apartment unless it's a decision of like roommates or studio apartment, studio apartment. If it's a decision of studio apartment or one bed, one bed. Okay, like that's kind of like how I see it. But it's definitely better than a toxic situation. Okay, it's definitely better if you want to gain your independence, like you want to move out from home, right? You want to have a fresh start. You are trying to make do with what you got. I would definitely say studio's worth it because it's at the end of the day, I live here and I'm happy. It's not the best space. I think it would also make me way more grateful when it's time for me to finally move. But like honestly, it's a good option. Depending on your circumstances, it's a good option. I hope this video helps for any of the girlies who are looking to like move on. And I know it's not easy. I was really nervous when I was moving because, you know, it took a lot of, you know, kind of a lot mentally and also financially and stuff at the time. So if you're kind of like deciding what to do, like, I hope this video helps. Let me know if it helps. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and share or whatever. I don't know, do something. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.